Welcome back to Nuff Talk Podcast. It's your girl Lex, giving you the best of the best and the real of the real. And I'm here with my favorite girl, Sash, in the building.
Yes,
hey,
I'm happy to be here.
I know.
One Nuff Talk on the app.
One Nuff Talk, number two.
We got the feminine energy.
The feminine energy
going
is
on
strong
today. Like the pioneer energy.
The pioneer, the veterans who set the trends in the building.
The reason why a lot of you guys are able to walk
literally
because okay.
They ran, crawled, did
Getting
everything.
excited. I'm sorry,
but let's give a warm welcome to a big artist.
Yes.
We got to give her flowers. The one and only. Macka Diamond.
One Auntie Macka. Yay! Bonnie.
Thank you so much.
We're so excited to have you. Oh my gosh. Yes. You're our first female dancehall artist on the Nuff Talk podcast. So like this is a big deal. This is such a big deal. Yeah. Pat yourself on the back. Give yourself the flowers.
Exactly.
We just want to thank you for your time, your energy, everything.
Thank you for putting females on the map. You're one of the few dancehall artists that one show love to other females, and not only just that, but also like pave the way and is still doing music and making strides. A lot of people can't say that
right
from like the 80s or so.
I mean, everybody said that. Said you're still doing great, Macka.
Yeah,
and I'm saying sometimes I look on the far side, I'm like, can't you guys see? Shut up.
Yes.
When I run in there,
shut
up.
Yes.
Give me my credit.
Every
I'm
year.
Still doing good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And a lot of people can't say that because a lot of artists that come out and give them like 4 or 5 years, they're good. Not they're saying they're bad, but then they can't have a longevity.
The stress is not good.
And a male dominated.
It's a crabs. And they're like, oh, we gave you 2 years. Get out.
Yeah.
What stress do you feel like when you say the stress? What do you mean by the stress? What is that?
As a woman in dancehall,
like, you see them happy for you when you're new, and then you see the same people turning their back on you. They're like, oh, you're done now. And you're there working, and you're still touring, you're still doing the shows. They're like, what are they talking about?
Right.
Like, what the hell? And then they beat you. It's kind of like once they see you happy now and you have made it and you're making a lot of money, they try to take it back. They try to downgrade you.
Why do you think they do that? What is
like putting an expiration date on you? Like, why is that?
It happens in natural life, because I remember before music, I used to run bar. I used to run a bar at my house.
Where?
Right? In Portmore. So
in Jamaica.
Yeah. So before music, I had a lot of bars. I used to keep a lot of events. I was like a big promoter.
So for those who don't know, when she says run bar, because sometimes we have to do a translation. When you say run bar, she had a bar. She had a couple bars in Jamaica, and she was the owner of them. And you would have have events or
So I started in my home when my mom left for Jamaica and went to foreign. I used my room and went in her room.
Where did your mom go when she
went to Canada?
Canada, okay.
Right, so my mom owned the house that we lived in, so it was okay for me to get out my room, and I started using her room
and transition it.
Turn my room.
You're like an entrepreneur,
right? And the pub and even like Vibes Cartel, every artist they used to come. Every artist would be on my house stop in Waterford DJ.
So this is before the artists.
Everybody.
So this is before they got to be like a big artist. They were like up and coming.
Yes.
And they would come to like
even the big ones, even when they're big, Merciless, all of them, when
they still come back.
Rounded them, everybody. Like once they get big and I know them, they will come and support my play. And you know what happened? When I buy my first car, the customers stopped. Oh, we're making her get rich.
Bad mind.
Wait, hold on. Let me see.
Mind.
So what happened? You got a little bit of success,
and they feel like you rich
and you bought a nice car, right? Because you work hard, you deserve nice things, and people, supporters, whatever, people in the neighborhood, whoever.
Look, I should take my money and go buy a car.
They feel like you took their money, and I don't.
So I'm saying after all the bleaching, I had to go all of these bars all over in that
working hard,
drunk or drinking just to get supporters and
just to get supporters.
This is what they look at it as, like, oh, we stopped going over there. She buying cars, she's getting rich. So I'm saying to you, that's the same thing with the music. Like, oh, she buy a big house. Let's get rid of it. That's how I
Please.
So what does they feel like because you make it? They feel like there's no need to support you anymore.
I don't know. It's just a mentality.
It's
So
okay.
I'm just saying it's not only the music. It's just in real life.
Yeah.
Also. When
Right.
people see you stepping up, it's like crabs taking you back.
Like you're not allowed to go higher than them, which is
Right.
ridiculous. And then what makes it
hate
worse is
that.
that you're a woman in a male-dominated industry, so you
right.
can't get higher than them. You have to stay put only for 2 years, and then you have to go back to
It's
the
like they're
corners.
saying, I want you to do good, but I don't want you to do better than me.
Even the artists that bust with a big record last year, by the time they reach this year, they say, "Oh, he's done.
Yeah.
She's done." They do it to everyone.
And social media makes it more of like a faster expiration date. But nonetheless, Macka, you can buy beer car. Yeah, it's okay.
No worry about them again. I want to see the car. I want to see your business. No, because you know what? There's people like us who are truly inspired by that.
Right.
I want to see you buy a car. I want to support your business in 2007,
Right.
and I want to see you in 2012 that you buy a car, you buy a house. You think I want to support your business and you don't have nothing on going?
Right.
Because guess what? If you didn't buy a car, people will pop you down and say,
No,
"My God, me a
look
car
how
I bought
I'm
in
at the
10
bar."
years. I can't buy like a car." No, because that's what they do. But then when you buy the car, it's like, well, you know what?
Right.
She have a car, and I need to buy
damned if you do, damned if you don't. Right. Exactly.
You're damn if you do, you damn if you don't. So we just want to give you your flowers and just say like we appreciate your inspiration. We also, I feel like with you,
In
it's just
music and
authentic
outside of music.
and raw. Like
Right.
you are who you are. No one can change that. From
Definitely.
the bar to the records that you have now to all the things you have going on now. I feel like for
I'm
women
riding
like
till the
us,
wheel
we
pop
just
off.
be
Yeah.
I'm gonna
right to the
ride.
wheels,
The wheels
pop
not
off.
come off.
And the wheels not come off. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
But going more back into music, right? So if people who don't know Macka, they already know Macka already. So we don't even need to get into the beginning phases. But being that you've been here for so long, what keeps you standing and say, you know what, forget this? Because like you said, there's the grudge, there's the hate, inside and outside.
That's what keep me. I have to. I said to myself, I look in the mirror and said, I have to prove them wrong. I have to let them know that I have to change this business. Like a lot of females is gonna happy for me. They're gonna say, remember Macka stayed until she was 100.
Exactly.
What the hell are you talking about? You know, I'm gonna be in my rocking chair or walking my sticker and hearing Shensi and all these little girls coming. They're gonna say, what the hell are you talking about? Look how Macka Diamond stay there. You can't get me out. You know.
Period.
So, I'm setting that trend. Like, what the hell? Shut up. This. You guys sit there and let all these men go
bully you,
100 and they you do complain. I know there's still trouble the men, but the men still stand.
They don't get half of what the women get. Agreed.
So leave the woman alone. As long as we keep our image, we keep clean and we looking nice. There's nothing for us to stop doing. What we do.
Right.
Yeah.
So and I take care of myself. I'm still healthy.
Right.
You know, that's what I keep telling
Health
myself.
is wealth.
Like, what do you want me to do? Okay.
Sit down and just be stuck miserable like everybody
boring.
else.
Yeah, boring. And you know what's funny? If she were to just not make a record again, right?
They were like, oh, I'm
you would just
Macka.
fly
Oh,
off.
no,
They'd
she
be like,
wanted-
oh my
yeah.
God, one Macka Diamond, one. They would have so much to
And they'll be like,
say.
this man the runaway Macka, so what I'm gonna get another song.
Exactly.
That's
It's like
crazy.
here.
Yes.
Leave me alone.
As we say, you're damned if you do, if you're damned if you don't. So
But
it is what it is.
speaking of image, right? So you always keep yourself very up to par, very classy,
Right.
very bougie. But I noticed you've been wearing a lot of leopard, a lot of
yes,
cheetah. What's the thought behind
Big
that?
up the one animal
Oh
print.
my God. I mean, it's just something, as I keep saying, I need to do something different. I need to keep revamping. And this was always one of my favorite looks. Like when I put on leopard, they'll be like, oh, I love it, Macka. You look so beautiful, you look rich. You look so
It's like prestigious.
Yeah,
I'm
it's like
looking at
classy.
you now. You even with the tie or like
Right.
not the tie.
Yes,
It's
I
a
try to mix
scarf.
it now.
It's a scarf that's I see you folded
Right.
it like a tie. Let me
So
say
I'm
that.
like a sexy leopard.
Yeah, it's
I'm
giving.
like-
You know what I'm looking? I'm like, oh, and I say you have the matching heels. I was like, oh, she came
Yeah.
sophisticated today.
Yeah.
She wants. I know she said, well, auntie, all right.
Yeah.
So she's serious. Because when I see women like this, I'd be like, okay, you know what? You are
giving
serious
classy
business.
and
It's giving
grown,
classy,
right.
polished. Like I can learn a thing or two for you. Whatever you're saying, I want to listen.
You
Why?
setting
Because
the
of the way you
tone for the
present
old,
yourself.
for the younger ones.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have been calling me and say, oh Macka, I like that look. You're a leopard looking.
Yeah.
I mean,
Polished.
But it's dominance. In my opinion, I feel like the cheetah, the leopard screams like dominance and control.
Boss.
And that's exactly who
Yes.
you are. As a
thank
veteran
you.
in the
And
game.
I love it because it's inspiring me too. It's making me feel great about myself. It is what makes me happy at this
Confidence.
moment. Dressing them and
Yeah.
I feel good. And I feel like I'm doing something different. Like everybody will be like, oh, that artist from Jamaica.
Right.
I feel like
With
they don't
the leopard,
expect.
you know,
Yeah.
leopard.
I feel like they
Yeah.
don't expect it. Even they don't. I feel like sometimes supporters or people who don't really necessarily know, they don't expect you to necessarily have such a polished look, and then when you have that look, it's like, listen, I'm serious, I'm polished, and I'm a boss. You're gonna recognize me, right?
Yes.
But even if you have on the skimpy shorts, you're still a good girl regardless. So period. You can switch it up either way.
The leopard and the shorts, and sometimes I get it. Yeah.
But speaking of looks and everything else, so I know a lot of your peers prior to like years ago, they've all, not all, but some of them have transitioned into different genres and stuff like that. Do you ever feel like you'll get to a point where you be like, you know what, I'm done with dancehall, I'm done with kind of reggae a little bit, I might move into gospel or more R&B? Do you think you'll ever get to that point?
You know what, I'll get to those points already. I've done gospel, I've done one job, I've done everything. It's just that they don't listen. They'll be like, oh, that's not you, that's not, so they don't give you that attention. But I don't still give up, you know.
Right.
I'm thinking about doing like a one drop album, you know, and mix it with a little gospel. I mean, I'm always doing that. So I'm up for anything, you know. I'm good in the Spanish market. I'm good with a lot of music. Anything that come with, I can go. Jazz, soca, anything. We
love that. We love a versatile girl.
Always open for me.
Okay. So what is one thing that with all of that, you know, you say people, I feel like it's the market, honestly. Like people listen to what they like, kind of. But what's one thing that people get misunderstood about you specifically?
They misunderstood, but they think I am selfish and I'm awkward and I'm not a good person until they meet me. Because that's what people would say.
Really?
Yeah, like the other day someone said to me like, oh my God, if I didn't get to meet you by myself, if I listened to people I wouldn't like it. I said, what do you mean? They said, oh, people were saying that you're a show off, and to get an interview you charge people, and I would have to pay you a lot of money to come, and I'm like, what? I've never charged no one for it.
No, they want to take the money, that's why.
Exactly. So I'm saying people really do that? And he said yes, and I got angry and said, what the hell is wrong with her? And I said, wow, it's a lucky thing you reach out to me yourself. Because he said it took long to tell me that, but he said when he reached out to me, I was so nice, and I you know, I dealt with him good.
Yeah, because I feel like we had that experience too.
Even before
really?
this, like even when I seen you online, I always thought you were a nice lady. I didn't think
you
that
gave
you were
me aunt vibes, because I'm an aunt,
Yeah.
right? So I'm like, that's even what I was doing when you came in. I said, oh my God, Auntie Macka.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because
like
I
that
get
aunt
aunt
that
that everybody, oh my
everybody
God,
knows.
this is like the cool aunt. That's
me,
what I got.
Trust me, all the people who create beef with me all over the internet, even the music, they give people another impression about me.
Okay, right.
I am the person who is the problem. I'm the bad guy.
Problematic,
right.
So a lot of people think about the real people, real fans.
Yeah.
They when they see my and they feel
They get to know you.
Yeah.
Right.
They feel like,
that warm.
Yeah.
Like,
Isn't that
exactly.
warm auntie, like that auntie, like,
That's how I felt when you
forget,
came
I'm not
in.
going to
I'm
mommy's
like,
house, I'm
oh
going to
my
auntie's
God.
house.
Yes. No, that's when she came in. I was like, oh my God, Auntie Macka. Mind you, I never
Right.
married before, but I was
But
like,
it's
okay,
like a
it's giving
warm
me like my
aura.
mom's younger sister.
Right.
So I'm that person that once people get to know me, I'm huggable, I'm
Approachable,
friendly.
There's this one artist called me like 2 days ago. He's keeping an album release, and he's like, "Oh, Macka, I wanted to come and be on it. Like I wanted to be there." And you know, we were talking about it, and he was like, he was in so much pain. Like, I'm fed up with music. I helped so much people, and this, and when I finished talking to him, he called me today, and he was like, Macka, you made my day yesterday. I spoke with him, and you make me feel like I don't want to give up no more. I said, that's how I am. You don't have to, I teach people what you're going to go through.
Right.
Yes, you don't worry.
Sometimes you don't even know sometimes how inspiring you are. Just being yourself, like you didn't even know that. Yeah, I love that.
You cannot give up. When people, this is what is happening now. There's a lot of people who will attack me now, and people going to shut them up.
Right,
Because
right,
they'll be
right.
Like, that is
Like, we
Macka
met her,
we
right.
say, Macka nah give up now. We're not tired of trouble now. So people start defending me now. There's a lot of people who is defending me now.
Because they're starting to get to know you. And I feel like social media does help with that, because you said like you do a lot of streaming online. So I feel like now, and not just you, just other artists in general, they separate you from the music and they say, okay, this is who this person is. Outside of, like, I know the raw, raunchy, but this is like the soft side of that person. That's like the benefits of social media, right?
Yeah. Just getting to know you on a more personal level. I think sometimes people know you on a surface level because of the music, so they might think, oh my God, you're raw, you're raunchy.
Right.
So
but it's like music doesn't make you always know who I am as a person. You don't know deep down.
Oh, Macka Diamond is this and that. People out there that don't really know me, they will believe.
Believe it, yes.
Right.
And that's good too. Yeah.
Sometimes.
I love that. But let's get more into the music, right? Because you've, like I said before, you've dominated music for
decades,
almost 40 years or
pioneer.
so.
We look at you as like pioneer.
Like one of the. I'm like, God, I still sound good.
Right.
Yeah, you're still so good.
Even and a lot of artists, they cannot do that. So not even just what's the secret, but how, like, what's the secret?
Like, what's the formula?
Yeah.
What y'all do for keep y'all?
And I don't do nothing extra. The only thing I do is eat right, because it is not even because I'm getting older. I'm like, I have to eat. It was always from I'm younger.
Yes, I think with Caribbeans we have that.
As I tell someone, I had an interview last night also, and I was telling them that I grew up with my mom fainting every minute, and she went through a part of her life that I thought I was gonna lose her. And when I questioned her, she said, like, "Oh, I have high blood pressure." And I'm like, "What happened? What caused that?" She said, "Oh, a lot of salt, a little." Like,
yes.
I don't want to be sick.
That's so common in the Caribbean.
I be sick when I get older, and so I started knowing that no salt.
Me too, minimum.
And I started taking care of myself, and I was just eating healthy from younger, and said I want to be happy when I'm older.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't understand that about me. So I don't even drink juices. Like, to go to a shop, and you never come to, if you come to my house, you're
water.
not gonna see juice.
Right.
It's gonna be green juice. It's gonna be something healthy that I made.
Yeah.
Homemade. And I'm not a juicy person. I drink a lot of water. So it's just inborn. It's just me. Just like to
your upbringing.
Right. So because once I hear about doctor and sick, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No, right. Caribbeans, I feel like we were raised to be like, you have to be your own doctor. For my mom also, my mom's a registered nurse now. But before she became a registered nurse, she was doing baking. She told me from a long time, even my dad had, we all have similar, right? And my dad and my mom used to be like, hey, listen, you are what you eat.
Yeah.
When all my friends, when we had flu growing up, if we catch a flu, I sit home, I drink garlic tea, I drink ginger,
turmeric,
and I use
the
remedies,
and I use my
Ray and nephew for Vicks.
Exactly. And I rub my rum, and my friends be like, you're crazy, I'm going to the doctor, and they be taking,
and the doctor give you 50 million pills,
and they give you other issues, a side effect for this, for that, and if you take the Ray and nephew and the garlic and stuff, you wake up 2 days later, I'm completely fine.
I was so my friends thought I was even silly when I have my son, and you know babies always have cold. I boil that garlic water, and that's what I made his tea and everything, and I see the cold running out of him, and I'm like, oh, good girl.
Getting out of you, yes. I don't bring it to no doctor, nothing like that, and I just take care of myself like that, and other people like, you're crazy, and my mom sometimes say, you're not going to the doctor. No, I sit there and I.
So young gals, drink your garlic tea,
turmeric,
ginger tea, turmeric,
ginger,
all right?
Pineapple.
So you can have longevity like good gal mama,
okay? Because I guess some middle to the young gal, I look old. No, because the 20-year-olds are looking 36, like, and I don't like that.
I used to love a lot of cucumber juice.
Yes.
I drink, and everybody would be like, oh, your skin is so beautiful. And since I get older and start doing my research, that was good for your skin. I was like, oh.
And you were just doing it just because.
Right. I wanted to
Same when I was younger with pineapple and ginger. My mom used to make it all the time. When I was growing up, I know you guys can relate. I didn't get McDonald's, Burger King.
McDonald's was like a random treat.
A random treat. We wouldn't get. My mother would wake up Saturday mornings, sawfish, callaloo, all those kind of stuff. So there was no McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, and thing. When I started to get older and hang out with my friends in high school, that's when I'm like, okay, then, we was broke. We was broke. We didn't have it like that. So it's like, okay,
the stuff or the good stuff.
Right. So I just feel like with this generation, sometimes they don't really necessarily understand how we literally, the song says it, we are what we eat. Literally. If you put in trash into your body, trash is gonna come out.
I would book up a lot of ladies my age, and they're like, oh my God, what you? Where you get so much energy from? And I'm like, I don't know.
The food.
I feel like I can just run down the street.
Because I've seen your performances before.
You have a lot of energy. I'm not gonna lie.
You're not sitting down.
A lot of energy. I'll be like, okay, can the young girl them look like they can't keep up?
You know what? Speaking of that, right? Speaking of stage performance, do you feel like, and this is my humble opinion, let's just start there. I feel like the stage performances are not hitting like they used to back in the day. What do you feel like is missing? Like, what are the girls missing aside from the health, right? Because you're healthy down.
It's feeling hungry, feeling like I think a lot of new artists are sometimes not even new artists. a lot of artists fail when they go on the stages thinking that they're not looking for the future. I'm like, when I go on the stage, I don't live anywhere. I am hungry. I sleep on the floor. My mindset is still broke. I want, honestly, I want 10 or 4 or 2 or 1 promoter in this crowd see me
and book me for the next.
Right.
So I'm hungry. Hello.
Yeah.
When I walk on the stage,
it's like giving your last.
I am those people that sleep on the roadside. I'm homeless.
No, you're no.
This is my first time doing this. You're gonna love me.
My sister says she is hungry for the opportunity. You know what? I do agree though. Some of the artists are not as hungry as some older artists. They're not as hungry, and also maybe they're not as inspired.
So
right? They get on the stage and they
Right.
think that they already got it. All these people here to see me.
But what I want to know is, why do you think they think like that? Like, what is it? What is the difference that you see from then until now? Like,
because
they're not being hungry.
The way a lot of people walk out, they walk out as if the people owe them something. You have to walk out and like you're begging them, oh, this is Macka Diamond, and if you don't know me, you better get to know me, please. Please, like you don't want to hear it like you're begging them.
Yeah.
Please, can you know me? Check out my YouTube, my this. That's even when you're not telling them, that is what they're thinking. I have to check her out. You have to just stop. I mean, let me tell you, for example, I went to a show in Texas years ago. Me Vibes Cartel, Bounty Killer, a couple of artists, and I mean, those are big. They were the big dogs.
Bigs are right.
You know, and so it's me have to open the show. And they were like,
Which was unfair.
I mean, I had to open the show. So when I went and hold the mic, no mic. The mic was broken. The mic was dead. I just throw it on the mic and DJ without it.
Period.
Because I'm not going home without my pay.
Exactly.
Crazy.
Right.
Exactly.
You gotta make it work.
Macka said money I for run either
I
way.
am not
The mic got start
I
sing.
am not gonna turn around and cuss those selectors. What the hell? With
What happened to my mic?
Me
Right.
not this about him. He's the promoter with my money. Me want me.
Yeah.
Nobody say. I don't want nobody say me not get paid. I remember one time, British Stevens used to keep a show in Westmoreland, one of them places. And every time we go to that show, the 1st of January, he used to keep it. And every time I go to that show, that start my new year now because the money him give me, I don't even charge him. I just take away but the money feel good.
Right. I have so many questions. Where was this show?
Somewhere in Westmoreland where
Oh, in Jamaica. Okay.
Yeah, in Jamaica.
Okay. So it's like a New Year show. Every New Year,
which is
they have this show. You have to collect your about.
Right.
All
I
right.
remember everybody was bomb rushing. Cableton came, he bomb rushed it, and I have to go to another show, play some mashup. Bounty Killer came, work for me. I gotta go because I got another show. And then I see Mr. Vegas come. Boy, Macka, I don't know what's going on, but I don't think we should go. I don't think we should go on the show now because all the big dogs. We're gonna do the work on the crowd. One of these, and he was like, I said, "Me tell you something, Mr. Vegas."
I'll leave it on my check.
You want to hear more? You ever know? It's when them buckle me tonight this morning. Me say it's when them buckle me up on the stage, and me still get the money. It can't pay Dr. Bill.
Clock it. That's your money still around.
Yo, I said, listen to me. I am taking that buckle my head tonight.
Just swerve. Just swerve. Bunny. 10 man bunny.
Another time I think about it, I'm like, boy, Macka, you use something else. Of course, I come on stage, I'll drop and get up and start DJ same way. And I play it.
Yeah.
So I have a question. So when the mic wasn't working, you dropped your mic on your phone. What you did? Acapella?
No,
You
play the rhythm and DJ loud.
So you want to fund them? You want to fund them? I sing.
Period. You know what
And what was the DJ doing?
And when I came off the stage, a man walked over to me and said, "You just win a new fan."
Period.
I said, "Why?" He said, "You could have cussed and come off the stage."
Yeah.
Because the mic was working, and you did that. You win me. I'm a fan now. I swear.
So I think you kind of answered my question. I think that's what it is. You're not just an artist. You're an entertainer and a performer. I think that's what's missing. Like, we have artists, but we don't have performers.
Right. The artists just come and they perform the song, right? And they keep it moving.
They like to move.
Yeah, just like, they don't want to get involved sometimes with the crowd, and they don't understand. Like, as somebody who years ago, I would be in the crowd. Artists want to, and fans, they want to connect.
Yeah. It used to be hard for me, so I used to spend my money to go to a voice trainer.
What was the first? What was the? I'm sorry to cut you. What was the first concert that you ever went to?
Wow. I mean, remember I used to go a lot of them even before my
When you were young, right?
Right. So.
Do you remember the first one?
I mean,
or maybe the most memorable
my
one.
first concert, I mean, was really in high school, you know.
In high school, okay.
Yeah, because high school used to bring in the hard artists too.
And who artists?
Like back in the days, artists like Squidly Rankin and all those.
Okay.
Back in the days,
this is like my mom's. Yeah.
People gonna listen. They're gonna Google.
So I'm a little girl in school, and these artists are superstars at the moment. So I decided that I have to go on.
And what high school did you go to?
Holy Child High.
Where's that at?
Holy Child is in Arford.
Oh, okay.
Kingston.
Yeah, Kingston.
Okay.
Right. And it was just me from those tender age, and I just think that from you love something, you have to be determined.
Yes.
I am very determined. Don't care what I go through. I'm determined.
What year did you start making music?
Well, the real making music was after high school.
After high school, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
After high school.
So you went to the studio, or I mean, I should ask, how did you start making music?
I was introduced. I went to introduce myself to an artist called Lady Junie at the time. She was with King Tubbies. So you had King Jammins and you had King Tubbies.
Okay.
But King Tubbies and King Jammins always competed for the #1 producers. But she was managed by King Tubbies. And I remember she was living close to me in Portmore. I said, I have to meet this lady, and I don't know, I find myself at this lady yard.
You figured it out.
So you were in high school at this time, and you found yourself at our house.
Right, but by this time, when I'm in high school, when I take my bus home from school, there was a place called Skateland, where they were doing skating ring and stuff. All the artists used to hang out there.
And they would skate?
And the bus will pass and you see them outside standing and people inside skating.
Oh, nice.
And I said, I'm going to go over there. And I went and I started introducing myself to people. I said, but when I leave school, I want to do music. And, So
you knew from a young age, like a teenage, that you wanted to be in music. Because I feel like sometimes people, like myself, when I was in high school, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, right? I have Caribbean parents. My mom and dad, born and raised in Jamaica. My parents broke the cycle of the American, and they just go here, go to school, get a degree, get a 9 to 5 or whatever. So that's just what they see, which is fine, right? Nothing wrong with that. But I feel like someone like you, I'm like, okay, how did it actually start for you? Because sometimes people can't relate.
I'm on the stage. Dancing
in school,
drama. Yes.
So what, talent shows?
Everything. In primary school, I'm doing drama, I'm doing dancing, I'm doing everything.
Okay.
Then when I leave to high school, it's the same thing. Once I have a brunch or a barbecue, I'm there. Right there. and
said, anyway, you have it,
and even if it's one shoes I have or one outfit, I wash them, repeat them, and I'm on that stage.
And I think from basically what you're saying is it's a lot of hunger. And I know it's the hunger never stops. Yeah, the hunger never stops. So speaking of hunger, right? You work in a male-dominated industry, and I'm never gonna stop saying that because it's always gonna be like that, right? How do you remain a woman in it and not feel like you have to get beaten down to a girl? Because I know sometimes in these rough industries, you can get bullied. Pretty much, some people, women,
I get it a lot. And
but how do you stand firm and not feel like they can bully you?
So what I do is I try to keep that self-love that I have, so I can make sure I don't have to be around them. So I take away myself at times, and then I will return, because they say there's no business like show business, so I still have to do business. So I don't take it personal. I said this is business, so I have to show them who am I. So even if I find that somebody bullied me before my career took off, and I can make money from them, I'm gonna take the money. And do
you don't take it personal.
No,
you don't take business personal.
There's no business like show business. A lot of people think it says no business like friend business. It is not. It is a business. It says no business like show business. It's a business. So we are not friends.
We're not friends. So you don't take any of that stuff personal. So say what you want to say about me, but when I prove to you that I'm on the top, and you want to spend your money with me, I'm not refusing. Right, okay.
Even if me and an artist don't get along, and promoter paying me to go and show with them, I'm not turning it down.
I respect that. Yeah, I do. Because a lot of people are not like that. A lot of people do mix business with personal. Which is, I feel like, a downfall of a lot of artists.
Exactly.
Because they're mixing business with personal, and they don't know how to keep their feelings out of it. As you said, maybe you could disagree, or maybe they might not be a fan of you, or whatever the reason might be. You don't give a damn. Once the bag is there, once the audience is there, the fans are there, let's just come together and make it work.
Exactly.
But I think that's how it's supposed to be
It
from
should
the
be
get-go.
like that.
So a lot of
It
people like,
should be like that.
I get big now. I'm not voicing for Ray, and I'm not voicing for Tay, and blah 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 because they never seen me when I was nothing. No. I want them to record me.
Like, hey, listen, you can sit over there. When they call me for the money, I'm taking it.
Pick it up.
I'm gonna charge them. That is one. And if I don't charge them, I'm like, that producer is one of the big dogs. And he's gonna put me somewhere.
Right.
Let me record for him.
Right.
I don't partial. I don't care what you want to say about me before. I've been the studio that I made my first number one. They run me out of it. Get out! Don't let her in. Tell the security not to let me in.
After you made a big hit single,
and
Brides.
before they were running me out like I wasn't nobody, and I fight till.
You got what you needed. Yeah.
I still do song in there with number one.
So speaking of songs and number ones, right? So for I'm gonna speak from when I was supposed to be listening to dancehall, which is early 2000s. I can't talk about before.
Can you tell us about when you first started listening? I just feel like you were listening to her
my first
music
song,
before you were allowed to listen to her.
Yeah,
because you said that. Maybe y'all little picnic, y'all listen to Bonnie.
Yeah, Bonham, you want to see me? Bonham.
Take my money, take a whole
And you want to hear about, oh yeah, Sabot. Wait, you know what, Bonham? I was like, no, she's talking about bun and cheese. What are you talking about? I know what. But it was such like a staple. But I know, at least now, before at least, there wasn't a lot of, there is a lot of rhythms happening now, but back then, it was like heavy. Like you would see a medley plus the video plus everything else.
And 39 artists would get on that rhythm within about 48 hours. It's taking a little bit longer. No, the artist then within 24 hours, you have about 17 people on the song.
But now, the culture has changed, but I noticed as of lately, it's been coming back.
The culture changed, it just got selfish. A lot of people try to gatekeep. I said, I don't want to be on the rhythm with nobody, and they try to do singles. But once we do those, if you notice from the other day when it comes back, where a lot of people come on the rhythm, it gets happier.
Yeah.
That's all music
that's
is.
What the fans love.
Makes the money because you have to compete. I go on the rhythm, and the next female said, Jesus, Macka song bad, I have to go.
Like, I got
to you say a line, and it makes somebody say, they will rhyme to whatever you say, and now next thing you know, they have a whole another song ready to go with it. And you know how many artists get so much organic exposure or quote unquote a buzz from just jumping on Hill and Goody Rider, what you feel like, Passenger Prince, or whatever rhythm it is at that moment. A lot of artists don't understand sometimes. You get so much exposure from just joining that rhythm, because guess what? I don't even know who the hell you are because you got on this rhythm, and I love the rhythm. I'm listening.
Macka Diamond, I heard of Spice.
I've heard of Bright.
But then
now I want to hear you.
Right, my SoundCloud and my YouTube went to another artist that I've never heard before. And another thing too, I feel like with the rhythm culture, you have to be creative. When you do the singles and your own producer and gatekeeping, you can sound any way you want. But when you're on a rhythm, especially as a woman, you have to make it stick.
Exactly.
Because
when you hear someone doing better than you, the competition is healthy.
You have to wheel and come again and write that.
Yes,
again.
It's a healthy competition.
Exactly. You can't just sit down and have the same sound like the other person. Like,
you have to be unique. If they hear Macka on it, they hear Stock Ashley, they hear Jada, Shensia. The next person's coming like, yo, I gotta bring my shit, because guess what? After those 4 songs play on SoundCloud or Apple or YouTube,
you gotta compete with that.
I want my shit to play up after, because guess what? I want to be in that conversation, and I just want to be in the algorithm with some of the greats.
Because just like when I did Hula Hoop, there's a lot of big artists on the rhythm.
Right.
A lot of big artists was on the rhythm, and when I went on it, it just went.
Right.
So there's a lot of rhythm that I go on and overpowered, and not saying that I'm better than them, but
you can say that.
You know what you are.
You can say that here that you are. The records are better. Men lie, women lie. The numbers don't.
Even with my career, I can say I came different, because there's a lot of females, they look at us sexually. I came saying money up. I was the only bravest woman come and say, woman, take money from boy.
No, all right, let's get into that. I want to talk about now. I'm so glad you said it. I want to get into it. I want to jump into the money thing.
Unique, I came different, and this money, I'm the only female that never bust just by doing sexual. It's just about this lady come and talk about money, and
that is the Hill and Gully money or what?
No, that was from the shake it to the max.
Oh, in general.
Yeah.
Okay. No, because listen, hold on. Let me tell you something. I don't know what it is with this generation or whatever. there is nothing wrong with being with a successful man, okay? There's nothing wrong with being with a man who you want to spend on you. People be making it seem like because you want a man who gets money, whatever that's a 9 to 5, street, drug dealing, scam, steal, rob, whatever. Right? You're a gold digger, right? But hold on, you're a gold digger, right? But God forbid if I wake up tomorrow morning and I post a man who is not getting no money, and this is my man, here's some take up broke my pocket man. Here's some take up broke pocket man. We're on with me. We're on with me. Can't get money man. So you get with a get money man, you're a gold digger. You get with a broke pocket man, you're a bum. You get with a broke pocket man, you are we're wrong with you, broke you. So where's the medium?
Just do you.
Yeah, just do you, right? And I love that. Is that a message that you feel like with somebody? Because I even feel like with the Hill and Gully Rider, when you're talking about that, is that something that you promote to women? Like, yes, obviously we're not saying only be with men with money. We're just saying don't be with a bum.
She's all about money. You're a gold digger.
But you got to be about your business. That's really what it comes down to.
There's nothing wrong with
money
that.
make the world go round. And it's not about being what I get from you and from your song screaming about money is about like you can't step to me without any money. Because what are we gonna do? Be broke together? Because I ain't broke and I'm not gonna take care of you alone. You have to come and match me or be higher. It's one or the other.
In 2026, guess what? No for man. I don't know. I'm telling you right now. Get money men. From what I see and what I know, they don't want a broke pocket woman.
Exactly.
Nope. They don't want to be with no woman who don't got nothing going for themselves. Whether it's 9 to 5, freelance, Instagram model, bartender, whatever it is. I don't know. No money. Get money man, and I know some. They don't want no broke pocket gal, right? So what's wrong with it? So is there something wrong with the men who own? Because there's a lot of men out there. Trust me, I know. There's a lot of men out there. They're not gonna be with no girl who ain't got no. You guys met some men who every gal them with they're lit. Yeah. They got money. They got a 9 to 5, or they got their own thing going on, right? They not with no bum broke ass bitch, right? But so me and you should take up our broke pocket man, or we're a gold digger. Money, hello.
But speaking of money and rhythms and all this other stuff, damn, I lost my trail of thought. It was right there.
And we can edit that out.
We're gonna edit that out. We're gonna edit that out. A specific question for you. No, actually, speaking of all of those things put above, and opinions of other people, I noticed there's been a lot of chatter about the Hill and Gully rhythm with the Genius and stuff like that, which you have your song on there, and there's a lot of, I wouldn't even say mature, but just a lot of conservative people talking about how it's very raunchy.
Oh, right. Because the rhythm is like, I guess, old. Like I don't want to say old school, but like
those long time rhythms, and they're
talking about the same stuff.
Say it again.
They have dirty songs.
Okay.
So hold on. The Genius just posted. I don't know. Like I don't want to say maybe 4, 5, 6 days ago, right? In response to respect my elder, but there was a Jamaican woman who was talking about that. She's basically
your vagina will kill you.
That we have taken these folk music, right? Is that what it's called? Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. And we have now made it to something raunchy. We've now made it to dancehall. We went whatever. And that's how the Genius, quote unquote, responded with that song that with a similar beat, right? Yeah. And it's talking about pum pum or whatever the case may be.
Pum pum is gonna kill you, but you can tell it's an old school song. Right. Like at least from like the I want to say maybe the 70s, maybe before the 70s.
We gotta do research.
But it was a very like it wasn't raw, but it was still raunchy. And
because in the 60s and the 70s, right?
They were rude too.
They were rude. They didn't have dancehall music, right? I think that's what she was trying to. She was trying to, from what I got from it, she was trying to make
a lot of those songs used to be like Jamaica Festival and stuff like that, but they were rude.
They were raunchy.
Of course, they were raunchy.
Even I feel like
what is the disconnect? What is it? She feel like, or not she,
but just
the generation. They feel like
what
we've taken
for a dancehall to do to come and be singing all culture, I guess, on all of the rhythms.
She wanted us to pay respect to the culture, right? And guess what? There's some artists out there that are doing that, right? You and a bunch of other artists.
And they were noticing.
They were noticing it. If you look at one artist,
I was gonna say that is not.
I did see reggae person doing it, but like
Cass.
pretty song. It was something about Blue Mountain.
Coco.
She wasn't saying anything raunchy.
Exactly.
I mean, you can use your imagination,
Definitely.
but
Cass too.
Yeah.
Cass was doing this very clean. There's some artists who are doing a clean rendition, and some artists are being who they are.
Listening to this.
Yeah, but that's
she like the brawling. That's talking. She like the brawling. She like the brawling.
So, what is your thoughts on that? Like, what would you say to somebody if they was to come up to you and they would critique your song in that type of manner? What would you tell them?
Oh, everybody come and feel up.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
I want to get the tangerine, the tambourine. I'm gonna say, all right.
I
think that this is such
a... What was the Aki selling on the Saturday night?
Yeah.
And why were they feeding up the Aki?
Exactly, because where I feel up Aki for.
But respect to her still, you know.
Right.
Done, you know?
No, and I think for her, I appreciate where she comes from.
I think a lot of people will just understand what she's saying, but we just think she should just listen to everything and pick out, God, there's good ones.
It's different day and age. I feel like it's a different day and age. I feel like there's some that might be accommodating to maybe what she's saying, and there's some that I get it. Maybe they're not her speed, right? They might be a little bit too vulgar, too raunchy for her, but it's a part of the culture. So, this is what we are.
Once you go that way, you ban it. That's what the radio stations used to do. They ban what is not of what they want to hear.
Right. And then when you go out of seas, people have, concerts or something like that called like Bumbaklata or something like that. And it's just like you have people who are non-black people, to be honest, European countries using a vulgar curse word as the name of a concert.
Oh, my American friends who are not Jamaican, who are not Caribbean, who have no splash. They don't have an ounce of Caribbean in them. You can go all the way back. These are straight up what they would call African Americans, right? If that's the term, right? When they start hanging around me, I'm saying bumba clock, this, Hey, and if I call some of my American friends right now, they be like, yo, bumba clock, all on there. And I be like, yo, chill, stop talking like that.
Right.
Because you know what? They like the culture. They pick up on it. They like it. I guess same thing with us. We pick up on shit, asshole, a bunch of American curse words that they weren't in our household.
But we don't say that is the only thing.
We don't say that's the only thing. But I think that what in her case, she just felt like for whatever reason that this record, this rhythm has gone so big that majority of the record is vulgar, right?
I think those individuals just need to change the channel. You're listening to the wrong channel.
I'm not begging you to listen to it. You can listen to some Cass. You can listen to a bunch of other artists. Like I said, Cass, and there's so much other artists who have a more of a clean, polished version and might not be as raunchy.
And they're saying when you're listening to rhythm, you're supposed to hear culture. But that's if I'm thinking about entering the festival competition. And I'm going to think about, Jamaica. But if I'm just saying that Stephen bring it out for dancehall, bring something different in the dancehall, I'm going to think for the girls to wine. I'm going to think for parties. It's just that. That's what happened. People think it's going to go in the party. Not going to just go on the festival stage or just, that type of way. So it's just the concept and the thought of the concept.
Right. I agree. But people they always have something to say. But speaking of something to say, right? What is the most? Because people have made a lot of stuff up about you. Like I've seen things online. I'm like,
that's what I told you.
I'm like, what are you even talking about? Like, how does that even make any sense?
I have some parents that even had me when I don't know them.
But what is the wildest rumor you've ever heard about yourself and was like, what the hell are you talking about?
Where did this come from? Somebody just sat down in their room and made this up.
What did I say was the rumor? They put up this one that I was like at the time they said I was 65.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Even older than my mom.
I seen that. I definitely seen that, and I was like, I hope she laughs about this. I hope she laughs about this.
I was even older than my mom. My mom was like, what?
It was like a big thing it was a few years ago, but I enjoyed that you were able to get like just comedy out of it, because people are so foolish. But do you feel like gimmicky stuff in dancehall keeps it alive, or do you feel it tears it down?
Because even sometimes when I'm gonna record, I have an engineer, Shady, and Shady will say, sometimes every time you take everything for joke. But I say I like people when they laugh. I like something in my song that makes people laugh, and I like to, so.
What is your sign?
I'm a Capricorn.
Oh.
And we hardly laugh, but people say we are very serious. Yes, we're serious with our job, but
deep down inside,
yes. But when we
you guys are serious, but then I feel like once you break that down, you guys are like clowns.
We are fun.
Yeah, you guys are like clowns. Like it's like a good time.
Speaking of breaking down, right? Have you ever fallen in love for real? Like you speak a lot about love and raunchy love, but have you fallen like real love?
Yes,
real love?
Heartbroken, but you grow with that now.
Do you feel like you make some of your best music through if your emotions, if you're happy, if you're sad, or do you feel like that inspires some of your best music,
or
it was
that inspired by a man, you know?
Inspired by a man. Okay.
Who was there doing the same thing in all the songs. And I said, okay, watch me here.
Yo, I love that. I love that.
He would call me and like, I just heard this song in the party last night and everybody was looking at me. I'm like, good.
Yes, I like that. You know what? I think that's a good way to embarrass you back then. But that's a good. I don't have to. You know what? Yeah, take one more thing. Yeah, like I think that's a good way to do it without necessarily exposing myself and telling my business. But I can done you a little bit.
Right. So another question is, if a good random producer, whatever, they're great in the game, maybe young, maybe DJ Mac, maybe Russian, whatever, and they said that they're gonna put you on a lineup with younger acts or anything like that, what type of show would you want, and who would you want to be on there with you?
Wow. I mean, I would love it if they could just mix it, young ones and the ones in my era, because it would be a real balanced show.
Like feminine.
Definitely.
Okay. Do you have any favorite, not favorite, because I don't want to single people out, but, you know, just people you could think of, like the younger artists that you're like, yeah, they're going to take over.
What I do, I don't, as I said, I don't put people in the box and say, oh, that's my favorite. Because I like when they're consistent, I like when they're strong. So there's a lot of them, you know. So once an artist is strong and they keep consistent and they show that they're not giving up, I kind of like them.
So you're a girl's girl, like you support all women.
All women,
okay.
And I like these new guys. You know, some of them is really great. You know, and they're lyrical and it's fun.
Okay. So if your younger self can see you now and you could have a conversation with her, what would you tell her or warn her about, like dancehall or anything like that, but good and bad?
Oh, so I would say, try to not mix business with pleasure. That would be the warning.
Okay, I love that because I'm always telling people that.
Yeah, try not to mix business with pleasure because I've done that all my life and I think that worked for me. And try to love what you're doing. If you don't love it, doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Sleep, eat, drink the music. Show it a lot of love. Because it's like a relationship, and once the music feels like it's not getting any love from you, it will leave you, you know.
Right.
So you have to love it and cherish it.
So for anyone who is like deep into the Caribbean culture, what's one rhythm, or what would you say like a takeaway from your story that you can give to maybe a younger artist coming up, that maybe if you didn't get that piece of advice that you would give them now in 2026?
Right. What I would say is, I talked about it last night too. I would focus more on my catalog. I would have made it more bigger. That's the only thing.
What do you mean bigger?
Made it more,
what do you mean bigger?
Like I think I should have at least 10, 15 hits. You know.
You don't feel like you have 10, 15 hits?
You want me to name them?
Right, because I'm like,
you want me to name them?
Bonim, I mean, we can keep going.
There were some popular and some are really hits. But real hits that...
like international hits that move the needle.
Exactly.
So you don't feel like some of your songs are international?
But I mean like world song.
Oh.
Even one of them two should be like world.
Right.
World.
I see
like
what you
more
mean.
like touching the pop culture, because I do feel like sometimes with dancehall artists they feel like
something cultural apart from the bonim and the gimmicks and the this and something. One of them should be cultural and it's a world song.
You still have time. You've been here for so long. You still have time. So
I know.
It's coming.
So that's what I'm working on now. But I said that's what I would have changed.
you would
More
change.
focus on
You
solid.
know what? I like that. I think I just sound like, I feel like you're giving yourself constructive criticism by saying that, like you wish you would. And I think just with anything, in any career, in any journey, we learn along the way. I think we all could say, "Oh my gosh, I would have. If I knew better, I would have do better." Right?
Exactly. Like I wouldn't be so busy just. Once I have the hits, I'm just doing shows. I would have put off some of them and focus on more albums.
Right.
But then do you feel like if you focus on more albums, would that take away from the authenticity with the connection with your who Macka is, and then the connection you have with your art, with your fans?
More because at that time I had the momentum. I could say anything and they would
follow. Oh, okay. So you feel like it would have took you to the next level if they just grow. You know, because a lot of fan bases, they grow with you.
Right.
I might not like maybe the sound, but choose them, I love you, I'm gonna just
right.
stick with you, and I'm gonna go along with it.
Right.
Okay.
And a question that I have, which I don't know if anybody asked, but are you signed to any labels or anything?
No, I used to be signed to Green Sleeve label
Okay.
in 2001, but they sold out, so I'm not.
So you're 100% independent.
Yeah.
And so you've been independent for how long?
Years now, like
Years.
over 10 years.
Do you feel like it's better, or do you?
It's kind of hard, but I learned. It takes me time to, because once I never had Green Sleeves no more, the work became hard because I never understood it, so I had to learn. But the good thing about me, I always try to learn and activate the new stuff.
Okay. And do you have a manager, or you manage yourself? You do everything.
No, I don't have a manager, but I have like booking agents.
Okay. Like those people, of course, but you run your own show.
Because I feel like you're so hands on, like you're like you're doing a lot of it yourself. Yeah, I'm like, it's given that she's doing a lot of this herself. And I personally, I love to see that, because I feel like with a lot of artists in this day and age, and there's nothing wrong with that, we don't get to see that, right?
It helps us to be more independent, because
social media, 100%.
Definitely, and it helped me a lot. I know that I'm learning and growing with it also. Yeah.
All right, so this is amazing. Do you have any
I'm excited. Like, I'm like, oh my god, I can't wait to this airs.
So I'm currently putting out new songs. Also, it's summer now, so the shows are coming up. Father's Day, I'm gonna be in Ain City, that's in Florida, and then the next weekend after that I'm in Atlanta, and so I'm gonna be doing
Macka
man. So and then we're going to do the US tour, my US tour.
Ooh.
I'm planning to do my tour, so I'm looking forward for that. I know it's Costa Rica, Milk Islands, Guyana.
You booked and busy.
It's gotta be.
As a big restaurant.
Can we catch you? Enough Talk needs to be at one of those shows.
We need to be at one of them.
That's for real. That's for real.
Yeah. I want to say, as a first female dancehall artist that's here, and we're dancehall enthusiasts as female. I feel like you just coming here for us is just kind of like a full circle moment, and I feel like for us, even just having this conversation with you, just learning from you, we're like, oh my god, like I'm sitting here smiling, I'm ecstatic. I know
it's like my inner child is healed.
Yes, she told me when I told her you would come, she was like, oh my god, I'm a fan, what should we do? I'm like, I'm not doing anything, I'm just showing up.
She was like, did she cancel the time? What's going on?
Right. So did she do it in the run the run? I said, I don't give a damn what she doing. She's showing up. Yeah, she was like, is she gonna do the run the rhythm? Is she gonna do it? I said, I don't care what she does, as long as her ass gets through the door. So we just wanna, and that stuff like that, I feel like sometimes supporters and fans don't get to see how empowering that is.
I might be late nowadays, but I always show up.
Period.
Most time I'm always on time, but sometimes things do happen.
Yeah, and then we get that, and I just feel like this is so empowering to younger women like us who are trying to get more involved in this space. You just coming here and just embracing us and having this conversation with us and performing. We feel like this is enough for us to really be like, oh my god, you know what? We're just gonna keep going, and we appreciate this. So I just want to give you your flowers.
I always want to give you your flowers.
You guys that recognize me and for the work that I've
As
done.
a pioneer,
I mean, because
you deserve all the flowers.
I have grown people like myself coming at me on the internet like, oh, I had this one
to them bad man, and
I had this one lady last week, she was like, oh, you don't see, you're looking so old and stupid, and I'm like, what?
Her man is cheating on her. Like, beer bun.
Now her man
was in my DM. So I said,
you know what? Y'all need to stop that. Don't be sliding in DM. Don't be sliding in people's DMs if you don't see a man.
Your man get beer bun.
Go and argue with your man. Don't come and
period.
But I love that. I think that with you, I feel like you're so authentic. You are who you are. Like people love you just for being who you are, and just keep doing that. Keep doing that. Honestly,
my mom motivates me. She's like, oh, you keep strong. I said, trust me, because I study life. I see what wrong from right. And I choose the part that I
want to choose.
Exactly.
Right. And I think people appreciate that about you.
That's
that when they
people have to do, you have to recognize that, okay, every single person that goes to the hospital when they say they have cancer, in most cases they die. So what are you gonna go there for? So it's better you protect yourself, and eat right, and so those are the things that
prevention is better than cure.
Keep your body, not saying nothing's gonna happen to you, but once it comes, your body is ready. So I study those things. I said, okay, why the grass green over there, white brown sometimes, so you have winter or something crazy going on. So we just study, and we know what to do with your life, and you choose the path that you want.
And I think it's a great way to close it out.
Great way to end. I love that.
So where can the people find you?
Oh, on all social media platforms. Guys, Google me. It's
Google her.
Most of my pages are Macka Diamond 1 or Macka Diamond Official.
Period. All right. And we want to thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. One Macka on the app. Yes.
But thank you guys so much for watching. Watch While Gone. Jesus
Christ.
Thank you guys for watching Nuff Talk Podcast. Like, comment, and subscribe. Do what you gotta do. We always give you the best in the real. Yeah. We get the veterans in the building. We get everybody else in the building.
One pioneer.
One Nuff Talk.
Yes.
One Nuff Talk. Number 2.
So